Kia ora no tātou, me tuatai tēnei te miki koutou, te whānau, ko tō mai nei I tēnei hui. Kia ora everyone, my name's Takerei Norton, and I'm hoping to show you kahuru manu, but we're up. Okay, cool. So my background, I grew up here in Christchurch. My mum and dad are from Kaikoura. My dad's from a little place called Oaro. So when you go to Kaikoura, you go through the mountains, you hit the coastline, there's a little wee railway settlement. My father grew up there in a 3-bedroom railway house with 12 other siblings. My mum grew up around by the Old Wharf in Kaikoura as well. Went to Papanui High School, and from there went to Lincoln University, and and I'm the manager of the Ngāi Tahu Archive, which is basically building a repository of physical and digital knowledge to make it accessible to our people to use for whatever our people want to use it for. And I sort of fell into this heritage space, to be honest. I only went to university because my dad wanted me to. So my dad, I remember my dad saying to me, I won't go to university because I work long hours and I don't want you to work long hours. And what I've realised is that I did go to university, but I do work long hours. You know what I mean? So that didn't quite work out. I did a Parks Recreation Management degree at Lincoln. It was okay. I probably enjoyed the rugby and the long lunches, to be honest, but what it gave me was an opportunity to get a good job. So from Lincoln University, I got like a summer internship at Ngāi Tahu, and my job was looking after Ngāi Tahu interests in the South Island High Country through the past releases. So for like 5 months, I was just going on these outrageous field trips throughout the whole South Island with helicopters and jet boats, just finding sites of cultural significance. And I'll just set this up here a bit better. And it was really, it was awesome, man. I couldn't believe I got paid to do it, you know, working in the orchards out in Belfast, to be honest. But essentially, for like 5 years, we just went around travelling, mapping sites of cultural significance with kaumātua and archaeologists, and I just loved it. It was awesome. So I did that for maybe, got extended 3, 4, 5 years, and then I was working with a group of kaumātua who were heavily involved in the Ngāi Tahu claim in the 1980s, and then they had this crazy idea of mapping all the Māori place names in the South Island, and I was like, man, that's nuts, that'll take forever. And then I was like, I reckon we could do this, so I'm up for it actually. So essentially we spent probably about 10 years mapping Māori place names throughout all of the Ngāi Tahu Takiwa, which is basically from Blenheim south, and this is sort of the results of that work. And we've mapped 7,000 place names. Every place name is referenced. Every place name will tell you a little narrative about it, why it's important, its history, the foods that are gathered there, whatever it is. And our people absolutely love it. Like, they absolutely love it. So we go to different marae, have these mapping hui. You'd have like 10, 20 people just rock up. They'd bring manuscripts, would bring manuscripts, and just work together pretty much. So it was a bit frightening at first, because if anyone has sort of been to our marae, you know what I mean, there can be some tricky customers. My first time to Temuka, I remember going there, and the words were, "You're a nice kid, you can stay for lunch, and after that you can F off back to Christchurch." And I was just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But I was lucky enough to be supported by all these people, and eventually working closely together. So if you zoom in, more and more place names pop up. Then if I click on a name, you can see all the information we have behind a place name in that. And this is, without doubt, the world's leading Indigenous place names project. No one has ever done anything to this scale before, ever. And the thing that I'm proud of the most, it has been done by Ngāi Tahu for Ngāi Tahu. It hasn't been done by anyone else. It's been done by the tribe, but it's been done with a whole lot of really good friends out in that arena. So not only have we mapped place names, we've also mapped all the traditional travel routes throughout the South Island. So if I bring this up, these green lines you can see in front of you, these are the travel routes that people used to use to travel throughout the island. It's pretty much the east coast and the west coast, that's State Highway 1, and then every river is a trail of some description. And some get used more than others, and some may get used every now and again, but every river, the Huranui, the Waimakiriri, the Selwyn, the Ashburton, the Waitaki, the Rangitata, the Rakaia. Every river is a trail. And then when you go up to the high country, there are sort of 3 or 4 passes that people used to use. Browning's Pass was a really important trail in terms of Ngāi Tahu history and tradition, but the main pass for our people in Canterbury was Harper's Pass up near Lake Sumner, because it was the flattest of all passes. It was much easier to travel, Arthur's Pass for us was too steep every now and again, but Harper's Pass up Lake Sumner, that was our most important travel route. And the other thing we've mapped as well, which is a bit of a sad story actually, these little wee red dots you can see in the background, these are the original Māori reserves allocated to our people. So when the Crown purchased the Ngāi Tahu territory from the iwi in between 1844 and 1864, our people were expecting 1/10 of the land to be reserved, like 1/10, and that's basically what happened. So that's not even close to 1/10 there. But you can zoom in, and basically all of our marae are on one of these reserves. And so my dad grew up right here pretty much on this reserve, up here, up in Kaikoura and that. So we did all this work for 10 years, and it was awesome. Our people were loving it. We're rocking up to this hui. We're having massive feeds. We're into it. But it's no point just sitting on my desktop, right? It's pointless. We want this knowledge to be accessible and to be used. So therefore, we then created a public website called kahuramanu.co.nz. It's a public website you can go on at any time, and it'll work through. But there's a digital atlas on here. Out of the 8,000 place names we've mapped, about 1,500 place names are available on here. It's basically part of a Ngāi Tahu Google. Hopefully we'll get there a bit quicker. I'll try again. Oh, here we go. View the atlas. And there's a whole lot of other information on there as well. But essentially the search box will come up, and you type in the Māori name, the Pākehā name, the street address, the skill, whatever you want. So I'll just type in Waro. I click on that, and it takes me straight to that place. So this is the Owaro River in Kaikoura. That's the narrative and that sidebar, and these are the references here. And there are the little reserves as well. So basically a public website that anybody can use at any time to learn Ngāi Tahu histories, place names, and traditions. And like I said, our people fizz about this, man. They absolutely love it, eh? But there's also a whole lot of other material on the website as well. It just takes for ages to load up. So one of the other favourite parts of this job really for me is unearthing awesome Ngāi Tahu records that have been sort of lost within government systems just through being there for so long and not cared for, but they've just sort of been hidden there. Our history is a sort of a hidden history, really. And bringing those items to life. So we've got on the website a whole lot of historical maps that I want to show you. This is one of my favourite maps. This is the best map of Māori place names in Akaroa Harbour. So I don't know if you know where Akaroa Harbour is. At the far end, this is Ornawi Peninsula, and Akaroa Township will be around here somewhere in that. So this map was put together in, I can't remember the exact date. It was done by the local postmaster from Devotionals, and he did it with a person called Tioni Tari Tikau, who's one of our major leaders. And you can see up here, it's got map prepared, if I zoom in, map prepared by Mr. Charles Tikau, Rapaki Littleton, and you can see here, here's a whale in the harbour, here are the French, and here are the Māori in the waka chasing the whale. But this map was done, like I said, by the local postmaster. It got sent to Johannes Anderson. He put it in his personal papers up in Auckland, and we only found it like 4 or 5 years ago. We found it, we digitized it, we've published it, we make it accessible to our people, and we recorded the history behind the map, all our informants. But the key thing for me is that it's not just available to Ngāi Tahu people, but to the world as well. And we want to make our knowledge more accessible to everyone. So our place names, our histories, our traditions are embedded in New Zealand systems, really. So that's enough for me. But I guess if I have one piece of advice, I think you've got to find a job that you're actually passionate about, because you're going to work for the 50 years of your life, eh? And you want to find something. I don't know how many hours I work a week. I got no idea. I just know it's more than 40. But you don't want to be looking at your watch the whole time. So I think you've got to find something that you're passionate about. And for me, it ended up being this. And it was just by a random internship. Then I worked with some really cool people. And then it just went, that's me, man. I'm in full noise. So if it's not your jam, sweet ass, do something else. But if you're into it, go for it, I reckon. So cool. Thanks, everyone.